I'm saying you. You're not old enough. You have to be a senior.
Yeah.
But the homeowner does not make a mortgage payment as long as they live there as their primary residence. That's very important. It has to be their primary residence.
Okay.
And if you have so many houses, you don't know which is your primary, just look on your tax returns because it'll tell you.
We're here today at the Paso Robles Podcast. I'm here with Hannah Edwards. And I'm going to give her an opportunity to reintroduce herself right now and tell you guys a little bit of what she does. And then I'll just pick her brain after that.
Okay.
So go for it.
Yes, I'm Hannah Edwards, and you can just refer to me as the old Hannah.
The old Hannah.
You know why? Because in 1994, it was the most popular girl's name in America, according to birth records. So now they're all baristas, but I'm the old Hannah. We'll call me classic Hannah. Anyway, so yeah, I've been in the mortgage business since 1993. Before that, I was in the title and escrow business, and before that, I sold real estate. And my husband and I have bought, sold, and remodeled, and sold more than 20 properties. So real estate is pretty much, my thing. That's my jam. And now I like to help senior citizens with their mortgage needs and financial needs. And I can do that in various ways. I can either refer them to someone who can help them better than I, or I can use my mortgage expertise to get them the type of loan they need. And I specialize in a few different mortgages, reverse mortgages when appropriate. They're not the right product for everyone.
Yeah.
Bridge loans for people who want to buy their downsize house before they sell their existing house so they don't have to rent in between or... So I help senior citizens. And when they're not seniors, I can always turn them over to my son-in-law who owns the mortgage company that I work for.
Yeah. That's awesome. So it's like a family business?
It is a family business, and our overhead is low, so we can actually pass the savings along to the borrower, the client. Additionally, we have lots of sources of lenders. So we're brokers, which means that you're not walking into the bank and stuck with whatever products they have. We can shop the loan and put you in the best product.
Okay. Well, that's good to have options, or at least talk to somebody who can bring up multiple options, not just one niche, right? This episode is sponsored by Valeria Noves with RE/MAX, your local real estate expert here in the Paso Robles and Central Coast. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, Valeria makes the process smooth, personal, and stress-free. She's bilingual, experienced, and ready to help. ¿Hablas español? Ella también. Call Valeria today at 805-212-6387 and let's get you a home. This episode is sponsored by Lion Pro Flooring. Give new life to your floors with beautiful, professionally installed flooring. Whether it's hardwood, luxury vinyl, or carpet, your home deserves a quality you can feel and craftsmanship you can trust. Serving Paso Robles and all of SLO County, Lion Pro Flooring is your local expert in transforming spaces. Call or text 805-712-3710 for a free estimate today. That's 805-712-3710, Lion Pro Flooring, when quality matters. So the one thing that stood out when we first met is reverse mortgages. I've never heard of reverse mortgages up until then. And I keep talking to other people who are kind of dedicating a little bit more time for the baby boomers that are aging out or starting to retire. So I have a feeling reverse mortgages are going to be going up in conversation. Can you break that down on how that works and why it would benefit somebody that it fits for?
Yeah. So simply put, it's a mortgage where you defer the interest. You are not the borrower. I'm saying you're not old enough. You have to be a senior.
Yeah.
But the homeowner does not make a mortgage payment as long as they live there as their primary residence. That's very important. It has to be their primary residence.
Okay.
And if you have so many houses, you don't know which is your primary, just look on your tax returns because it'll tell you. And they never make a mortgage payment as long as they live there, as long as one of the borrowers lives there. For example, one borrower could be, say, in assisted living and the other one is still home.
Yeah.
As long as one borrower is there in the home, they never make a mortgage payment. Well, of course, the mortgage company is still charging them interest every month. So they're just running up a big balance is what they're doing. Now, if you don't care about running up a balance, or you just really, really need to not have a mortgage payment, or you want to get cash, which you can if you have plenty of equity, then it's a great product.
Yeah.
The older a person is, the more they can borrow. The lower the interest rate, the more they can borrow. And the more equity they have, the more they can borrow.
Okay.
Equity is the difference between today's market value in your home and what you owe the bank now. So if you don't have a mortgage at all, you would have 100% equity.
Wow. Yeah.
And have the most options.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by Santos Bros Plumbing. Are you in need of a dependable and effective plumber you can trust? Look no further than Santos Bros Plumbing, your trusted local plumbers in Paso Robles, California. Call them now at 805-360-4679. That's Santos Bros Plumbing. This episode is sponsored by Del Pueblo Furniture in Paso Robles. Skip the credit card headache. Talk to Roger and get 0% in-house financing on quality furniture you'll love. Visit them at 1030 Railroad and 10th Street or call 805-239-5942. That's Del Pueblo Furniture. Comfort you want, payments you can handle. Y sí, se habla español. Just ask for Roger. So, I guess what's your ideal client when it comes to reverse mortgages? Like, what's the age cutoff, or what's the age max minimum? And then ideally, they would probably have their house paid off.
Yeah. I mean, that having your house paid off gives you the most options. But I've done plenty of reverse mortgages where they still have a mortgage balance, and the reverse mortgage removes that current lender by paying them off. So the minimum age for some of the products is 55 years old, and they go by the age of the youngest borrower, because that person can stay in the home. So the youngest borrower is, the minimum age is 55 on some products, and on other products, the government insured product, which is an FHA loan, known as a HECM, and that acronym stands for Home Equity Conversion Mortgage. The HECM loan has a 62-year-old minimum.
Okay.
So, no maximum age.
No, of course. Yeah, because I was talking to Jolyn Silva. I don't know if you met her at a
I know her. Yeah.
She's talking about life insurance and index funds and stuff like that. And one of the questions that came up to me was, because she brought up, baby boomers are starting to reach that age where, like, here's this market that's going to open up completely, and it just depends on what you do. That are you going to take, not take advantage, but like have the opportunity to help and make a career out of it, right? And so she started talking about like life insurance and investing and everything like that. But at this point, they already have invested in the house. They've already invested on whatever they need to. So those who haven't invested but have a house paid off, they're better off than not having anything at all, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the main thing is that they really need to determine, are they going to stay in that house?
Okay.
Because if it would be a better option in the long run for them to sell and move, then doing a reverse mortgage is ridiculous, because you're eating up your equity by deferring the payment every month.
Yeah.
So I have a long talk with people to really get to the bottom of what their motivation is. If they have someone who's really going to need to be in assisted living, is the spouse or going to be able to stay in that house by themselves, or should they really just sell the house?
Yeah.
So we want to do what's best for the client, even if it means we don't get a loan.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of discussions. I talked to one woman off and on for a couple of years, actually, before she decided to do it.
Wow.
Because she decided she needed to remodel her house and stay in her house. And she had a really big house where she could bring in a caregiver.
Yeah.
And so we did the reverse mortgage so that she could pay for the remodeling. Her house was free and clear. And you can get cash out if there's enough equity.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Rad Scooter Deli on 6th Street. Craving something delicious in Paso Robles? Rad Scooter Deli on 6th Street has you covered. Enjoy tasty sandwiches, fresh salads, and smoothies like the Banana Nut Blast, my personal favorite. Kick back on the covered patio, sip on a cold beer and wine, and enjoy the easy parking. Order online for pickup or dine-in. And here's a treat. Use promo code PODCAST for $5 off your next order. That's PODCAST for $5 off your next order. Open daily from 6:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Rad Scooter Deli. Local flavor, fast and fresh. This episode is sponsored by Western Janitor Supply. They have cleaning supplies and equipment for any workplace. Call today at 805-238-2112. They provide an extensive line of chemicals, paper products, and floor equipment. Again, that's Western Janitor Supply, located in downtown Paso Robles. So what do you see motivates people now? Because obviously you have the long conversations, but initially, what's that first conversation when it comes to like helping them figure it out? Do you need money? Is that one question you ask first? Like the reality of things.
That's the biggest motivation.
Yeah.
Is people who just really need more money, right? Because inflation always continues in any market. There's some inflation. Sometimes it's low inflation. Sometimes it's high inflation.
Yeah.
But if you have a fixed income,
right,
but the price of everything is going up, then you start to look at maybe getting some money out of the house. And some people say, but I want to leave something for my kids. Well, take cash out now and give it to them so they can buy a house and be in a good position in 30 years.
Yeah.
So needing cash is usually the highest motivation. Now, some people could do it even though they don't need the cash. This is a great way for people to not touch their portfolio. Let's say you have a lot of money saved because you started a long time ago and now you have a house and a great portfolio of investments. Well, how about if you don't touch those investments and you use some money from the house instead?
Right.
It's a great way to retain that portfolio rather than starting to liquidate it each year.
Yeah. So who is it that you got inspired by? Because you've been in it for a long time. So who inspired you?
My aging self. So my husband and I decided to sell our home of 31 years way up north in Sonoma County. And we wanted to buy a really nice house near the beach. Well, if we had done that, we would have wiped out all the money that we got from the house that we sold. It would have taken every penny. But instead, we did a reverse mortgage and we got to keep money aside.
Yeah.
So it was a logical choice for us. We were kind of young to do a reverse mortgage, but we also own a rental property that is a possibility to sell in the future if we need more cash.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by the White Wave Wellness. Choose to live a healthy and fulfilling life. Wellness is more than being free from illness. It is a process of change and growth towards a mentally and physically healthy lifestyle. Reach out to Jennifer Hale to learn more about how this water can change your life.
Yeah. What brought what made you decide Rio Grande, I'm guessing? Is that where you came up from?
We're in Grover Beach.
Okay, Grover Beach. So what made you decide Grover Beach and not like further south like San Diego or up north? What gravitated you towards?
Well, we checked out Oceanside and a few other places, and it's just too much traffic, too much noise, and we can actually drive back to see our kids and grandkids in 4 or 5 hours in Grover Beach in our central location, Central California. We just wanted to be by the ocean. During COVID, we just talked about what we really wanted. We watched a few people die, and we said, what's really important? The beach.
Yeah, the beach, especially during COVID, because that's outside.
Exactly. Well, we've always gone for beach destinations on vacation.
Yeah. Where is it you want this company you work with to be down the road? Like, I know you're helping people. Obviously, that's a good mission to have, right? But where do you want it to be down the road, especially for your son who owns it, right?
Yes. Well, my son-in-law is the one. His son-in-law is the one who actually said to me one day, we really need a reverse mortgage specialist. So they want to be, and it's a very specialized product with a lot of rules. And I mean, even the ordinary loan processor, my daughter owns the loan processing company, and you can't even use the software for that on these loans. I have to have the source of the money do the processing because it's a highly specialized product and there's a lot to know. And so if you go to someone who hasn't really studied it and learned the details and taken the classes, you could be steered in the wrong direction. Additionally, you could be going to a loan officer at a company who's pressured to make the loan, even if it's not in the best interest of the client. I've said no to a lot of people. You really shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Because I can. And I want to do the best for my clients.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's good. So, I mean, obviously you want the company to grow and help as many people who are starting to be at that age or that meet that qualification, right, of being house paid off. They want to do something similar to what you did, So why the mortgage and real estate world? Because you seem like a very smart person. You could have made money doing stocks or something. So why that?
Oh, I love houses, and that's usually people's biggest investment is their home.
Yeah.
And I married a remodeling contractor.
Oh, there you go.
So he said to me in 1979 when we met, we could do really well if we bought houses, remodeled them, and sold them. And we kept a few, and we sold a few along the way. But more than a few. We remodeled more than 20 and sold more than 20.
Yeah.
So my husband and I make a good team because I take care of all the financing and he takes care of all the remodeling.
Yeah.
But I do want to circle back to something you said. Your house doesn't have to be paid off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can have a mortgage on your house. You just still have to have plenty of equity.
Got it. Oh, that's right. The 100% equity.
Yeah. If you have 100% equity, even better. You can borrow more.
Yeah.
But if you have a mortgage and it's not huge compared to the value, but it's a very specific calculation that's done by the software that we have that puts in age, interest rate, and equity. And then it calculates what you can borrow, how much.
Do you recommend people doing what you and your husband did in 1987 or started to do about like the whole, like you do the finances, he does the remodel? Do you still recommend people to do that today, to buy a house, remodel it, sell it?
Absolutely. Or just buy one. You know, I was just looking on Zillow at the first house we bought together in east of San Francisco in Livermore.
Yeah.
It's about an hour east of San Francisco. And it sold in 2021 for $850,000. Now take a guess. Just take a guess, a wild guess, how much we bought it for in 1984.
Around 100,000.
68,000.
Oh my goodness! So
It was a fixer-upper. It might have been worth 90,000 if it hadn't been a fixer.
Yeah.
And we made a profit on it and moved out of the area, which gave us a down payment.
Yeah.
But even if you're not married to a contractor, just buy a house.
Buy a house.
Buy a condo if that's what you can afford. For goodness sakes, the FHA loans allow you to put down as little as 3%.
Yeah, we got lucky with our real estate agent. She was able to get us a USDA loan with a down payment assistance. And I like because I told her straight up, it's like I didn't have any money. Like I was very clear, like there's no money. So what do we do from here? She's like, there's a way. There's always a way. That's her motto, I think. And we got the house and everything. So I was very surprised because every single person I talked to up until then, it was very discouraging. You need, FHA loan, you need 3%. So if the house is, just by example, 100,000, you need, three, whatever the equivalent is that 3,000. So times by what, 8? Because there were 800,000 at the time when we were looking. And, yeah, it was very, and then on the other side was the credit history and credit, what your credit is.
Yes.
And you always hear people talking about like as long as you work with 580 credit, obviously higher interest if you go in with that, the better the credit, the lower the interest, of course. But no, my credit was decent, but it was still like discouraged a little bit with the conversations I had. And I'm not naming names because I'm not a big fan of doing that. But it sucked. But I think it was because it was around the year 2020 and 2021 when we started to look. So we got that fear of missing out sensation.
Yes.
And I'm just like, if I would have looked the year before with the realtor I had today, I would have been better off. But it was just my mind wasn't trained that way yet. So how do you help people condition their mind to think about the future like that?
Well, I mean, I tell them how much I bought my first house for. I don't work with first-time home buyers. I mean, I did in the past.
Yeah.
But my son-in-law, who owns the company, and my daughter, who runs the processing end of it, specialize in FHA loans, which are typically first-time home buyers because it's a low down payment, and they're more lenient on the amount of debt you carry compared to your income. That's called debt-to-income ratio. Credit. If your credit's in the 500s, that's bad news. You got to work on that first.
Absolutely.
And there are easy ways to work on your credit. And I can help people with that. But I would probably turn them over to my son-in-law who specializes in this.
Yeah.
And they have literally done hundreds of FHA loans for first-time buyers. Of course, you had a loan with no down payment, and those exist as well. And veterans can do no down payment. We have a lot of veterans in the area.
Yeah, I've noticed there's a big push for veteran loans or just working with veterans in general because they usually. I haven't talked to any veterans, but when I see people pushing for those loans, the VA loans,
yes,
there's a big push right now because the incentives are so good.
Well, yeah, I mean there's no down payment, and usually veterans know how to get a job when they get out. They're disciplined, and they make good employees. So they usually have a job, and if they have any sort of disability, they get an additional benefit. And it only has to be, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think 10% disability. I haven't done a veteran loan in many years. But there are a lot of incentives for the veterans to do those loans and to get into a home. Yeah.
So when I'm talking to someone who works in the mortgage world, the real estate world, there's all this information that actually encourages people to buy a home or start investing instead of renting and paying somebody else's mortgage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information. So why is it still the majority? I feel like there's still like a majority of people still hesitant to. What do you think has made it that way?
Oh, that goes way back. That goes back to their childhood, I think.
Yeah.
Some people just they look at the negatives instead of the positives.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to live in a condo and that's all I can afford.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If you start with a condo, you can probably end up in the home you like at some point.
Right.
So it's not easy. It's stressful. Some people have the mentality, maybe they are come from parents and grandparents who've never owned. So there's a
I did.
a mindset. Yes,
Yeah.
but you overcame that mindset. Mindset is probably the biggest deterrent. And the I can't, maybe I don't deserve, I don't know. But when my husband and I got together, in my mind, I had to have a house. So we bought a trailer that was burned out. It had nothing but the studs in the exterior.
Wow.
And we dragged it from Nevada, and his parents helped us with some of the materials. And we fixed it up. We bought it for $500. We sold it for $5,000. Okay, that was one piece of the puzzle. $5,000 was worth more
Yeah.
in 1981. That's
Yeah.
when we sold it. And then we went into the next house, which was the $68,000 house. So you can't just expect to have your dream house day one unless you win the lottery or inherit a ton of money.
Got it.
Or you make so much money that you can afford a low down payment loan. The payments on a low down payment loan are going to be higher on a very expensive home
Yeah.
because the loan's going to be bigger.
Right.
So I would say mindset's the biggest deterrent.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are. I come from my father was a Depression baby. So was my mother. He was a World War II veteran. My husband's father was a veteran. They were Depression babies. They didn't expect to have everything from day one.
Yeah.
And we learned discipline and work ethic from them.
No. So you mentioned earlier about looking at Zillow, how much that house is worth, the first one you bought, right?
Yes.
Which is incredible. Just the fact that it went up that high. I've done that a few times where, like, let's say I look at the history of how much it's gone up, bought and sold, right? Let's say somebody is in the house flipping business or whatever, and they bought the house at 500, and it says sold a year later. I don't know how fast that turnaround is for flippers. I'm assuming it's pretty quick. They just have to pay the taxes on the gains, right?
You do have to pay the taxes
Yeah.
on the gain. Okay, so I did for 4 years. I did nothing but loans for flippers in the San Francisco area, in the Bay Area, and they generally figure on taking a year, sometimes a little less. It depends on how bad the house is when they get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a loan for a contractor who bought a triplex that was burned out. There was no roof.
You
were
have
looking
a
at
history
this
where
thing.
burned out places.
Oh yeah, I do. Not only that, I've actually been in 4 different dwellings. No, dwelling. One was a hotel. 2 were hotels, where I had to run from the place with the fire alarm going off.
Oh my goodness.
Twice they were. 2 times we had false alarms. But the first time it happened, no, the 4th time it happened was my own home.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's terrible. Anyway, got off topic there. But a flipper can take a year, sometimes more, if they run into problems, say, with the city.
Okay.
I had, it's kind of a risky business, right? Because I had
Yeah.
one guy who was just going to add 400 square feet to the house and remodel the inside. And what happened instead was when he decided to add 400 square feet, the county, it was in Campbell, California, And his local jurisdiction said, oh, no, you have to redo the foundation on the main part of the house, too. Oh, it took him well over a year. And, those private money loans that flippers often use are very expensive. So you have to know what you're doing to be a flipper. My husband and I didn't flip. We would get into a house and keep it for 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't have to time the market that way, because if the market goes down, you can really get stuck. And I saw that happen to a realtor who was trying to flip a house in the Fremont area, and she took a bath.
Yeah.
And she didn't do the work herself. She hired contractors.
Yeah, and that's where my thought process started going when I was looking at the Zillow prices, bought and sold. And then I see some were like 2 years, some were 3 years, and I think the difference would have been like $80,000 to $100,000 depending on what the house was. And in my head, I'm thinking like, well, I was making roughly that at my job. Why would I leave my job to go like invest in this way, right?
No, you don't. You wouldn't leave your job. You would try and get something that's like a cosmetic fixer. In other words, you're not taking down walls or redoing the roof. And cosmetic fixer being that you're not going to structurally change it. You're just going to update it. Let's say you find something that somebody lived in for 40 years and it's just very dated inside.
Yeah.
You get in there, you keep your job, and you go there on the weekends. You hire what you have to hire, like cabinets. You're not going to build the cabinets. You're not going to install the cabinets unless you're just a really great handyman and you haven't told me.
I wish I was.
Yeah, it helps to have some, but you could pool your money. We did that on one where we pooled our money with some relatives.
Yeah.
It didn't turn out that well with the relatives. But but if you know somebody or you can hire somebody to be your, maybe they would get a piece of the equity or something.
Right.
But I would put everything in writing.
Yeah, make sure,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like they might come, well, I put more money in after we bought the house, so why don't I get more equity? Those
Yeah, you got to put everything in writing.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the big things I guess I want people to take away is like the mindset, right? The mindset of just starting, of just saying the yes and moving forward with whatever investment you're going to make, because a lot of people are out there. A lot of people are waiting here in Paso for those low income housing right now that's being built. And I'm just like, those are already pretty much taken up in my head because there's a long list of people looking for that specific kind of housing. So what would you say to those people like who think that's the only option? I know it's first time home buyer. I would say
talk to somebody very experienced. So I'm not dealing with those people. My son-in-law, just a little plug for him.
Yeah, go for it.
So he's a broker. He's been in the business a long time. He has a master's degree in tax auditing.
Oh.
My daughter, who handles all the nuts and bolts of the processing, has been in the business since she was 17 and she's 43.
Wow.
So I would go to experts. My son-in-law was rated, there's a publication called The Scotsman's Guide, and it rates the production of loan officers around the country. And for brokers, last year, he was number 26 in volume for the entire United States.
Wow.
So he knows a little bit about what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I would say it's partly because he has a terrific wife who's been in the business since she was 17.
Yeah.
And she was a manager by the time she was 21, over 10 loan officers in the Bay Area. So you really got to get a good team.
Yeah.
Now, they're a great team for first-time home buyers. Just talk to somebody. It doesn't hurt It doesn't hurt to talk to somebody.
I think that's the big hurdle for a lot of people for some reason. Because I know it was for me. Because like I said, the first people I started talking to, it felt discouraging. So I automatically went back into my little turtle shell, right? And then we peeked our head back out and we're like, oh, okay, let's talk to this family friend. And she's the one who's like, no, there's a way, Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's a way. Well, and if there isn't a way, there's a way later. You might have to do A, B, and C, and some people aren't willing to. Mm-hmm. Right? But if you go to someone who knows what they're talking about, they can tell you if and when you can do it.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing, is to get good advice from experienced people. So we are experienced people. We are clear to close brokers. Look up Paul Olbrantz, my son-in-law. Look up Hannah Edwards. Actually, Hannah L. Edwards, because all the young Hannahs are running around out there too. Hannah L. Edwards, reverse mortgage.
Yeah.
So if you put in Hannah L. Edwards reverse mortgage, you can go right to my website and you can see all of my 5-star reviews. Same thing with my son-in-law, Paul Olbrantz. Let me spell that. O-L as in lips, B as in boy or man, not man. R as in rat. A as in apple, T as in Tom, Z as in zoo, Olbrantz.
Oh, okay. Of course, you can text me information. I'll add it in the info in the video as well. So that
okay.
Because I can link a lot of information on there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I want to be able to get people to them if they do have those questions.
I didn't know we were going to do that. That's clever. Yeah. Well, that's what you younger people do to help us out.
So we're 33 minutes in. Just so you know, is there any more information? Is there anything that you want to tell the audience before we wrap it up? Like, how can they reach you? Of course, because somebody who watches this is gonna try to watch it again because like they missed the phone number or something. So I just want to make sure you tell them, and I'll put it in the notes as well.
You'll put it in the notes.
Yeah, but how can they reach you? And then if it's first time home buyers, obviously reach your son-in-law and your daughter. And I have some ideas after we can talk about too.
Okay, so reaching me, my cell phone is the best way to reach me. And I have an 805 number, but I prefer my old 707 number from Sonoma County because I just did a loan 2 weeks ago for someone who called me from 6 years ago. So yeah, repeat business is good.
That's awesome.
So my number is 707-486-4562. 707-486-4562. Hannah L. Edwards. So I have the cell phone with me all the time. I didn't bring it in the studio here because I didn't want to turn it off because I might forget to turn it back on.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. So thank you so much for coming on the show, and we'll learn more about. Hopefully, people got some out of this, and if they reach out to you, please let me know that they heard you on here, so that it makes me feel better because it's working, And I think one of the big takeaways for me was reverse mortgages is going to be a big deal.
Oh, it is.
I just felt it as soon as you were telling me, and like the what's happening with the baby boomers and stuff like that, and I'm just like, maybe I should get in the business. Just kidding.
Yeah, well, we could definitely use another good broker. I could help train you. So yeah, the reverse mortgages are very important because we do have, I think it's something like 10,000 people a day turning 65. So I was born in the year the most baby boomers were born, which is 1957.
Oh, wow.
And the thing is that the cost of care keeps going up.
Yeah.
So if someone has in-home care, it can be very, very pricey. So if they're in their 80s or 90s, we can provide them cash if they have enough equity to stay in their home. And I have done that for people. And it makes a big difference in their quality of life if they can stay in their home in their last few years.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I listen to podcasts and listen to other people talk. It's like you only have, let's say for me and my mother, let's say she lives another 20 years or so. But that that you can translate to only 20 more winters, 20 more summers, 20 more springs. And when you think about it that way, you're like, wow, we don't have a lot of time. So make it worth it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, that's why I moved to the beach. That's my happy place.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people's happy place. This is why I can't leave Paso, because it's a 30-minute drive, you know?
Yeah,
so.
you can be at the ocean.
No.
Well, so now, and when we lived up north, you could be at the ocean
Yeah.
in 40 minutes. But sometimes it was so cold you didn't want to get out of your car and windy, and it's a real trek. There's only one flat beach and you have to pay. The rest of them are cliffy and rocky and everything. And if it is gorgeous weather, then everybody's there and there's no place to park.
Here, any day. Any day. Well, except with like Cambria, it's freezing every day, but
Yeah, no, in Grover Beach, I am 4 minutes. I timed it from my recliner to the sand.
yeah.
So I like to help people make their dreams happen.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So thank you. That's all I can say right now. Thank you so much for being on the show, and I'll let you know when it's all posted and everything.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Miguel.